Hi, my name is Daniel Levy. We have a project of with a young, growth-oriented, wonderful, Jewish teenager from a very nice family in the Chicagoland area, and who's studying these spiritual wisdoms, the spiritual teachings of Rebbe Nachman, and he asked me to, very thank you, to share some thoughts on these and give it a video commentary and explanation. So, with God's help and aligned with the holy rabbis and rebbes and mystics of Jewish tradition, that we'll be able to give it over correctly. Breslov Spiritual Nutrition, day 348. Don't make the same mistake as all those people who give up trying to change because they are stuck in their habits. If you truly want to and you are willing to work hard enough, you can overcome them. Okay, so if you now, there was once a king who went away uh, learn to learn with the biggest, royalty teachers in the kingdom, and the prince learned all sorts of trades, engineering and mathematics and sword fighting and fencing, everything. And he comes back to the palace after a couple years. He's all completely, you know, proud of himself. He's super proud. He thinks that he could pretty much do anything. And then his father decides, this kid's a little bit arrogant. I want to see if my son really knows his stuff. Is he wise or is he just smart? Is he wise or is he just smart? So he went to his son, the prince, and said, listen, I have a challenge for you since you know so much now. I want you to go to the basement of this palace in the dungeon. There's a huge boulder. It's like a ton, 2 tons, who knows? And I want you to find a way to bring it up to the attic. Son said, okay. He was confident in himself. I could do this. He was motivated and inspired, and he went down to the basement. Of course, didn't budge. Got a lot of guys, didn't budge. Tried different engineering tricks with ropes and pulleys, and didn't work. Consulted with friends, consulted with teachers, didn't work. Didn't work. Nothing works. Finally, he gave up. He became despondent and depressed, and he just kind of got stuck and mopey and just stayed there and felt bad about himself. His inner critic kicked in probably, and before you know it, he was feeling depressed. And the king, he saw this and he came down to the chamber of the prince, and he said, listen, what's bothering you, my son? He said, I can't do it. I'm embarrassed, but I can't do it. So he said to the to his son, he said, listen, I never intended you to be able to carry it up as one big rock. Okay, the method that I thought you might discover is that you need to break down this rock into this big boulder into rocks. And yourself, or with help, you were going to bring up all the pieces to the attic. I didn't say it had to be in one giant swoop. Now, maybe some of you know this story, and I kind of embellished it a little bit just for enjoyment. But there's something I'd like to emphasize in it that relates to this beautiful teaching that this young, teenager chose. That it's that he gave up. He gave up, and he tried and tried and tried and gave up. And he thought he was supposed to do it in one big Herculean effort, and it didn't work. And his mind said, "You can't do it," and then he gave up. And this is our life. Yeah, I don't know about you, but sometimes life presents to us just such a tremendous challenge. It is so big, and yet it's completely necessary. It's not one of those things you can say is a distraction or you can walk away from. It's not one of those things that you can just ignore. It's something essential. Maybe it's the way you're going to treat somebody and you know you need to be patient. Maybe it's accountability and you know that you need to get a hold of your finances. Maybe it's you have to move on from a toxic situation, or you have to learn to keep God's commandments and you have such strong desires not to. And it's a big, big, huge boulder. It's a ton. It weighs 2 tons. And sometimes you get motivated. I can do this. And no matter what you try, it doesn't work. So that can be super frustrating and overwhelming. And the Yetzer Hara, the negative inclination, will come to you, as you know, and me, and say, you can't do it. Sorry. Too big for you. You're too little of a man. You're too little. And if we carry any insecurities and we don't believe in ourselves, which is hard to, then we won't be able to do it and we'll give up. And that moment that we give up in despair, we have Yeush, we have despair. Yeush. Never thought about that, but Yeush, oosh. It's like fire. Yeah, fire. Give up. Anyways, when we give up, we lay down, and that's it. We just stay there. We acquiesce and give into the situation. Now, that is super depressing because, again, it's not, we're talking about things that we know we need to do. They are obligations, they're inner callings, they're missions, and we don't have the strength to do it. And we know it's something that I have to do, that the king is calling me, the prince, his son, his daughter, to do it. And I have to do it. I might be able to get help, but I have to do it. And obviously, the metaphor is to break it down into manageable chunks. But that there's more than that. If you're going to find that wisdom, if we're going to find that wisdom, we need to first not get knocked over, because once we're knocked over, we don't find that solution. And if he had keep gone going and he'd stayed positive, he'd stayed life connected, he didn't listen to that voice of negativity in his brain, then he could have done it. And so let's go back to this teaching. Don't make the same mistake as all those people who give up trying to change because they are stuck in their habits. The mistake is giving up. Don't give up. When you're stuck, don't give up. And it becomes, I guess, when you think about it, a matter of faith. I know that I heard from these holy teachers, I'm so grateful to come in contact with Rabbi Arush and his students and others, that there are 3 kinds of faith: faith in God, faith in the Talmidei Chachamim, the wise scholars and the saintly, spiritual, advanced, tzaddikim, these holy and sort of almost like enlightened folks who see the map, they see life, they see what we need to do here, and to believe that they're really real, and finally to believe in ourselves, to believe that this teaching is all about believing in oneself, and for me, this has been the hardest thing. I don't know about you listening, but believing in myself, because I didn't understand it till about 2 months ago, even when I read a Rabbi Shlomo Eliezer Schick, the Mahorash Zatzal, where he explained how believing in oneself works. It's just like I don't see Hashem and perceive Hashem and don't taste of God and experience God, and I choose to believe in him anyways. So too, myself, even though I don't see myself, I don't perceive myself, I don't, taste the strength that I can do this and that it's real and that it's there, I choose to believe. And I work hard at believing that. It's not the working hard at lifting the rock. That's not what would have saved him. What would have saved him is not working hard at not giving up. Because when you're getting hit over and over again, when you're in that challenge or that tribulation, that difficulty, standing up is what's hard. That, I think that's one way to understand this. If you truly want to and you really work hard enough And we'll talk about want in a minute, but if you're willing to work hard enough, not at lifting a rock, you're not going to be able to lift it. And that's why you lie down in despair, because you know there's no way out of this thing, no matter what you do. But do you have to give up? Maybe we could believe that we are capable, but I'm not capable, Daniel, and I can't. Well, I know there's a lot of traits I've had that are difficult to change, and things I never thought I could do and still don't, some of them. But just like faith in God requires believing in something I know is theoretically and logically true, and I believe it because I know it's the truth, but I don't perceive it. Nonetheless, I choose to believe it. I choose to stand strong in my belief, even though that voice in my brain, the details out in my life are not supporting it. I choose to stand there and be strong, right? So I think that's that rut zone, if you want it, you really want it. Now, it's not so easy. You know, I work with folks with depression and other heavy emotional and mental difficulties, and it's not like when you're depressed, you don't have a rut. You don't have want to, you know, you don't have willing to work hard. You maybe want to work hard, but you don't have enough motivation. So that's what's so hard about, you know, the mental and emotional part of giving up. Once you're in that pit, and it's like being stuck in a well, like falling down it. There's no rope to climb up, and then it really is impossible. So we're saying it's impossible. But if I believe, even though I can't perceive, then I will be able to stand stronger. And that requires faith, not ability to lift boulders. So that's what I'm taking from this. Let's go back and talk about one other thing. Want. One nice thing from cognitive therapy is want. We have a definition we say is perceived importance. So if I perceive something's important, then I'll do it. And if I don't, I won't. For example, if I get home tonight and there's a nice piece of chocolate cake and I'm tired and it seems so important right now, then I'm going to eat it. And that's my desire is going to go. But if I think, oh, my prayer, my meditation, my act of helping people to get lifted up, that's important, then that's what I'm going to do. In other words, you do what you want to do, says I've heard Rebbe Nachman say, and you don't do what you don't want to do. And so we have to change our wants, and that we can work hard at too. So if you truly want to, and you're willing to work hard enough at truly wanting to, then you can overcome them. Oh, well, we said right now you can't overcome them. Well, the you, who's the real you, who contains godly power and unbelievable abilities retained inside our souls, that you, that me, we can overcome with that, with God's help. Now, you know, it reminds me of, you know, when someone's in that crazy situation and all of a sudden they have adrenaline and they're able to lift the car off somebody. You know, it's like we retain inside ourselves such great great power and great abilities that we are untapped. I know I heard in graduate school, who knows what these things are true, that we use what, 7-8% of our brain. And that really explains it. You know, when I went to yeshiva in Israel after, you know, I graduated from Harvard University, you know, undergraduate school, and I'm in these like study academies for a few years, and I could not understand or keep up with these deep like studiers. I mean, still it boggles my mind. And you know, I always thought, okay, you know, maybe they're using 14% of their brain. I'm still using 7. Whatever it is, it's amazing. We really do have retained in us. But more than any of those traits and the intellect, it's that we have the ability to connect in a deep way, even when there's no way to connect. And sort of like I was talking with the client, needing to jump off the cliff, like at like a helicopter with a rope hanging down. You're gonna be like one of those superheroes in the movie, and you jump and you grab on. But in this case, it's a helicopter that looks like it doesn't have a rope, and we need to jump and have faith that the moment I jump, the rope will materialize and I'll be able to grab on. So let's read it one more time. Don't make the same mistake as all those people who give up trying to change because they are stuck in their habits. If you truly want to and you're willing to work hard enough, you can overcome them. So we have to get the want, and then we have to get help. We have to break down that huge boulder and work on it every day. I know that Rabbi Arush, I heard him speak, and he said that really a healthy and powerful way to work on oneself is to choose the worst trait or habit that we have and to work on it for 5-10 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day in personal prayer, meditation, until it is extinct, basically. And he said that that's how he attained a lot of what he did. He worked one after another. Mind-boggling. So sending you whatever power blessing I have, sending you whoever's listening to this, wishing for you strength, that you can overcome whatever you're overcoming. It is difficult. This life is challenging. That you keep getting up, keep getting up, keep getting up, keep standing up, even when you believe you can't, and asking God for help in that. And have a good night. Okay.